Warning: this podcast contains AI generated material. In order to bring you emotional intelligence awareness.
To err is human. What does that mean? We're going to explore what it means and maybe how helpful it could be. Fact, fiction, the true reality, or entertainment. Join me as we continue to explore a mindfulness perspective of AI.
Join me in a brief mindfulness practice, keeping it real, in a comfortable position. Pay attention to your breath. Pay attention to the sensations that your body is experiencing. The sights, the sounds, the smells, and the taste. And how does it make you feel? End of exercise. Let's continue. As we explore emotional intelligence awareness, I invite you to keep in mind the art of symmetry and maybe things that are not asymmetrical. In our world, when we look around, particularly art, we can appreciate the beauty that art represents in nature. And sometimes in art, the artist exaggerates or brings in their interpretation of whatever their subject that they're expressing through art. Whatever that is, there may be some exaggeration. And that's what makes it art. The word perfect, I think, is very difficult when we're talking about artwork because, who defines perfect? Because the art is an expression of the energy of the artist. And when we take a moment and really study the art or appreciate the art, many of us can see the energy that the artist may be trying to represent, or maybe better, I would say that it's the energy that we have inside of us that we're transferring to that art piece that we see, if that makes sense. Energy is motion. And the energy, sometimes we can see it and sometimes we can't. Energy in art, in writing, in sculpture work, that's something that we can see. I love children's art. I like a lot of art. It just seems that with children, it's all out there. There's no hesitation, there's no boundary. With children's art, I think the main goal when I work with children is to get their energy comfortable in expressing themselves. Their emotional awareness is very sensitive. However, sometimes the barriers that keep them from expressing their emotional intelligence is peer pressure, fear, embarrassment, or perception of embarrassment. And so once those barriers are relaxed, the children express through their art a part of themselves that maybe cannot be put into words. The imperfections of any art, not just children's art, makes the art real and expresses an energy that the human has within them, that emotional intelligence and their awareness of trying to express themselves, maybe through sculpture or painting or the visual arts, the dancing, the theatrical arts. Those expressions by humans makes the connection between human and human. To err is human. And I think that the error which this is referring to is not only an error, a mistake. We keep in mind that when we make a mistake, we can correct it. But also, the perfection is defined by who? The imperfection that we see around us in nature and in each other makes humanity humanity. And when we use tools to help us express our humanity, keeping ourselves aware that the artificial intelligence is a tool that helps us perform whatever task we're doing. And we're seeing this in all aspects, in many jobs and professions, and even art. So when we reflect on our mistakes mindfully, we learn from the mistakes. We improve from ourselves from the mistake, and we teach others. We teach our families, we teach our communities, we teach our organizations of the other side of perfection. What happens when a mistake is made? If we become dependent on artificial intelligence because it doesn't make the human mistake, then we are integrating fear into our humanity, which actually can be used as a learning tool. Join me again next time as we continue. Have a great day.